Welcome to Megabucks Radio. Conversations with successful entrepreneurs, sharing their tips and strategies for success. Real-world ideas that can put Megabucks in your bank account. Here's your host, Nina Hirschberger.
Welcome to today's show. I'm having a special guest today because we're going to talk about referrals. If you own a business, if you're a small business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a dentist, no matter what you are, referrals can be the lifeblood of any business. And today's guest is Dr. Fedich. And Dr. Fedich is a chiropractor in New Jersey. Although, while we say he's a chiropractor, really what he is a brilliant marketer. So anyway, welcome, Dr. Fedich, to today's call.
Thank you so much for having me on the call, Nina. I'm happy to help you and your members out today. Hopefully we can learn a little sort about referrals.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So tell me what's happening in your practice and how you're doing referrals these days.
Yeah, so we're busier than ever. We're 25% busier than we were pre-COVID. Busiest we've ever been, grown every year for 18 years straight. And our number one source, we do Facebook, we do Instagram, we do Google ads, all that, but our number one source every month is referrals. Out of, 100, we average 80 to 100 new patients a month. The average chiropractor probably averages about 20 to 25. But out of that 100, 90 to 100, at least half of them are referrals every month. And when I talk to doctors in any specialty, if at least half your patients are coming from referrals, you're doing something wrong. So yeah, it's a lot of referral-based practice, and it just keeps growing.
So I should have started out. So explain what your practice is. Are you a solopreneur, or do you have others in your practice?
Yeah, great question. So I opened up in 2004, 3 months after graduating. If I knew what I knew now, I would have never done it, but I bootstrapped it and went from myself and 700 square feet to 2 part-time assistants to now we have 3 of us full-time chiropractors, 1 physical therapist, about 10 support staff. We currently see, average chiropractic office about 100, 150 people a week. We're seeing about 450 per week. I still am in patient care a bit, but I do a lot of managing and marketing as well, but I do still see patients every day. And the other support staff helps a lot as well.
So do you do primarily just chiropractic, or have you expanded beyond and done more modalities that a lot of them are doing?
Yeah, we've expanded a lot. We've taken stuff away that doesn't work either. I mean, we did acupuncture here for about 10 years. Insurance just got worse and worse, so we don't do that anymore. But some of the stuff we do is we do spinal decompression, the non-surgical spinal decompression traction. We have 2 of those tables. We run them all day long. They're booked out a few days in advance, doing 40 people a day on that. We've been doing class 4 deep tissue laser lately. That's worked really well. That's a cash service that we do well with knee pain and shoulder pain. We have a new hands-free model, so the patient just sit with the laser for 10 minutes and feel relief. And we do some physical therapy as well. And one of the other big side parts of the practice is we do a lot of occupational health. So we do CDL and DOT physicals. Chiropractors in most states are allowed to do truck driver, basically exams for truck drivers. So we do 5 to 10 of those per day. They're a cash service. And then spinning off of that, those same trucking companies need the mandatory drug testing and mandatory breathalyzer testing. So we do that as well. So we'll do the random drug and alcohol screenings or post-accident screenings and that kind of stuff for occupational health as well. So, chiropractic is still the bulk of the practice, but we definitely have a lot of offshoots that are doing really well for us.
Now, in your chiropractic, are you cash only, or do you take insurance?
A lot of insurance. We're a lot of insurance. One good or bad thing about being in New Jersey is, we still have the unions and some good union insurance. But we deal with all those high copays and deductibles that everyone else deals with. But, a lot of insurance, a lot of major medical, like regular Blue Cross, Cigna, Aetna, the big insurance you all know, is probably 60% of the practice. We do take Medicare, which is probably another 20, 30, and then a mix of other insurances and cash as well. So a good mix, but we definitely still take insurance.
Okay. All right, let's talk more about referrals. Tell me, so you're getting a lot. It's very important for any business owner. So tell me what you're doing different than everybody else, because here's what I hear all the time. Well, we just hope people will refer us. We get a lot of business with referrals. So in other words, they have no plan. They have no strategy, and they're not tracking it. So what are you doing different?
Yeah, a lot of it. Like you said, the first thing is to track it. So we have an Excel spreadsheet every month. As soon as any new patient walks in the door, they're added to this new patient log, we call it, and we write down their referral source, referral, Jane Doe, whoever referral, Dr. Smith, or Facebook ads, so we know where everyone comes from. So like you said, the first thing is tracking it. Back when I coach more docs, it's the same. Yeah, they don't know where they come from, where it's going on. So you got to track it for sure and see where your numbers are. And then, yeah, like you said, people think just because you're a doctor, you're owed a referral by these patients, and it's certainly not true. You really got to earn it. And what most doctors, the same story with everybody, like getting results doesn't get referrals. Like nobody sends you patients because you got them better. They really send you a patient because you wowed them, you impressed them, they thought you cared about them. And just getting people better, you're not going to get referrals. And just doing a good job, like you do with books, if you just do a good job and nothing else, there's no guarantee you'll get referrals. So you got to have a system in place and go through and really impressing these people through a whole series of coordinated actions. And I don't know, you want me to go through our referral process with you?
Yeah, I do. But just one question is, not only do an excellent job for them, but you got to ask for them too, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the strategies we just implemented, we have a software program like does auto texting, but randomly every 10 visits, I'll read you that this gets texted out to the patients. So it says, hey, Nina, I was just wondering if you, any of your neighbors, friends, or family members were looking for a good chiropractor. If you do, I'd really appreciate you sending them my way. If they use this link, they'll get a $20 discount on their exam, and you will also be entered to win an Amazon gift card. And it goes to a link they can click on their phone, put their friend's email and name and phone number in it, their name and email, and then they're entered to win. And it's personalized. It looks like it's coming from their doctor, even though it's just coming from the software. So it's from Dr. Fedich, and it makes it look like we sent him that. So that's one way we do it for sure. Automated asking for sure.
So in other words, so you say one, so you do a random, so like one on occasion.
Yeah, so that's random. That's new, but we kind of have a system I'll walk you through. I mean, nothing else really random. This is a software, so you're not getting that text every time you come in. Every 12 visits, 15, it does it. But as far as system, it starts in the first visit, starts on the phone call, and they book the appointment. They get an email and a text from us that it's booked. Here's a Google map. Here's our paperwork. Please have it filled out before you get in here. When they come in, the front desk staff are trained to know their name, not just say, hey, who are you? What are you doing here? Hey, Nina, it's great to meet you. You're at 3 o'clock. Here's your paperwork. We also do a new patient gift. So they come in, they'll just start the paperwork. Right away, one of my front desk staff will give them a goodie bag, basically. And inside the goodie bag is something you could talk more about, but we have 2 books that everybody gets when they come in. So we basically have a book of testimonials. It's published to look like a real book, but it's just 18 years of testimonials in there. And then we have a real book that I self-published many years ago that needs updating, but that we give them as well. So it establishes authority, and it's also a referral tool. So nobody really throws a book out. And I just had a patient this morning before this call. So my neighbor called, asking about sciatica, and I literally had your book open. I was reading your book, and it said, boy, you called the right friend because I'm reading a book about it right now. So doing all that new patient gifting, welcome bag. They're going to get all that kind of stuff. They're going to get a text after their first appointment. Hope you're feeling better. It's good to meet you in the clinic, etc. So they're going to get all that up front. The other big secret, especially in this kind of business or most businesses, people think that your long-term customers refer, and it's all the studies show it's not. It's your new customers that refer. So especially in chiropractic, we think it's that Jane Smith's been a patient for 15 years, the one that's going to be referring. Almost all referrals, especially in healthcare, I think it's close to 80%, happen in the first couple visits. So you want to really try to impress them and kind of front load their relationship so that they're getting really a lot impressed, a lot of stuff going on in the beginning that's going to make them want to refer right away. So that's a big thing, like in all fields, that people think you're going to get referrals down the road. You really want to try to get them right away. They start feeling a little better, they like you, and that's when they're going to mostly refer for us. Shall I keep going with more stuff?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I do have one question. Okay, so you're saying in the first few times, that you got to impress them and wow them and all of that kind of stuff. So I personally have probably seen 10 chiropractors through the years. My hip bothered me, my neck bothered me, my back bothered me, whatever. First of all, I didn't get anything that you're talking about, nor did I get amazing relief from anything. But had I done that, what you're saying is I probably would have gone on my social media and I would have said, oh my goodness, I just found this new chiropractor. He's amazing. I had back problems and now I feel better. Is that what happens with these people?
Yeah, a lot of it's social media. Still, like I said, this woman just this morning said her neighbor called her and said she had sciatica, posted on social media, and that's other strategies you do as well. Get them to check in the office and post pictures. And then you also see a lot of referrals are kind of like, someone will say, "Oh, my back's really bothering me. Anyone know who's going to help?" And 20 people chime in. I have a chiropractor. I have a PT. So everyone kind of those chiming in a post as well. But we get a lot of direct referrals, a lot of friends and family, and all that.
Okay. Well, and absolutely, yeah. I mean, I love books, and you're right. The beauty about having written a book is that most people don't throw them away. And so your neighbor who had that same problem and passed the book on to her friend is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she told me her friend called her with sciatica, and she's literally reading one of our books at the time, and she said, "Boy, you called the right friend." So yeah, books are definitely a great tool to get more referrals, and you can't always track all that stuff, but it definitely adds up.
Yeah. Okay, so keep going.
Yeah, and then the next thing, a lot of doctors mess up, so you want to press them all at the beginning, and then there's a lot of stuff you keep doing. I mean, we do a monthly printed newsletter. You got to put it in their face to remind you about it. We do the email blast. We do all that little stuff. People forget about you real quick, but again, you want to front end load that relationship. We used to do a shock and awe box, and we found less cost and just as good a result of handing the gift in the office. But some people do a shock and awe. We've done that. And then I think the next big thing that most doctors screw up is they don't acknowledge or appreciate their referrals. I remember years ago, my mom had sent like all of her friends to her new primary doc, like just loaded this guy up with patients. And she's like, I sent him like 6 patients. I never got a thank you. I never got a note card in the mail. I never got any, even when I came in for a visit, she goes, "I'm not going to send him anyone anymore." Like, even though she loved the doc and like was helping her and like she sent all these people, she's like, "I didn't get one thank you. Like, I'm just not going to tell anyone anymore." So you definitely got to reward the people. You got to watch your industry, and there are rules in healthcare. And I've tried a lot of different stuff. But you definitely send them a handwritten note card. I found that's great. Right now we're doing a handwritten note card and with a little gift card to the clinic in it. We've done brownie tins. We've done all kinds of stuff. But we found just a gift card to the office. It's simple. Gets them coming back, spending money here as well. So make sure they're getting a thank you. Make sure they go out right away. I have a staff do this, but it's like this isn't something you wait till the end of the week. Like their patient came in Tuesday, referral card should go out Tuesday night or Wednesday the latest. So we send them a thank you handwritten card. They're going to get recognized in the newsletter. So we have a whole section that, we get 50, 60 new patient referrals a month, and every referral is thanked in there. So thank you for your referrals this month. Nina H, James F, Ty, all the people that referred in. That same list then goes on our email blast. So every week we do a weekly blast, and they're going to get, hey, thank you for referrals again this month. They get thanked there. And then we post that on social media as well. Thank you for referrals this month, John Smith, et cetera. So they really, they're going to hear thank you. They're going to see it in the newsletter. They're going to probably see it in an email or two. They're going to see it on social media. They're going to get a handwritten note card. In addition to that, we do a patient of the month as well. So right by the front desk, we just had to order our 3rd plaque now because there's like 40 names of plaque. We have a big plaque up and just a little kind of things that go on your door or your door, John Smith, like your office plaque. We have one for patient of the month every month, recognizing them. They'll also be recognized in the newsletter and social media, and we give them an Amazon gift card. So someone who referred the most that month, we'll reward them as patient of the month as well. So those are some of the basic stuff that we do for it.
Okay, wait, well, you went so fast. There's so much in there. So because you're thanking them in a lot of different ways, what you're reinforcing, obviously psychologically, is refer. Because you said, thank you for the referral. You send it out in the email. Thank you for referrals. You're doing all of that. And so you're psychologically telling people referral is a big deal in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to remind, half of the point of doing all that reminding is not to thank the people, it's to remind everybody else that, hey, we like referrals, we expect referrals. And sometimes, too, when you run a busy clinic, I mean, we see over 100 people a day. People think sometimes that you're too busy. You don't want referrals. They come in when it's busy, and they think, they even want my friends coming in here. It's so busy. So, yeah, like you said, that's 3/4 of why that rewarding them is beneficial. Is that other people know, hey, we expect to be referred. We like referrals. We got room for referrals. And it's a referral-based practice. So, yeah, absolutely. We'll get comments on the post, too, because we have so many. Like, you really had 50 referrals last month? What kind of office is this? What's good? We'll get some of that because there's so many. So, yeah, absolutely. That's probably 3/4 of the benefit of that is not rewarding the people. It's reminding everybody else, hey, we expect referrals, and we love referrals.
Yeah. And you said the patient of the month is the person who refers the most? Is that, or was it a random draw?
Well, our category says we kind of just all team together, pick it at a staff meeting. But in the newsletter it says to be eligible for patient of the month, keep all your appointments, show up on time, and refer patients in. So we kind of take all that into account. But it's usually kind of typically the most referrals. But we just sit at the staff meeting. We go through the referral list that month. And, hey, should we give it to Jane, Jack? You know, with John sent in 3 family members, any prepaid? You know, so we kind of had that conversation.
Well, you're obviously even teaching your staff all about referrals.
Yeah.
That is a big deal.
Yeah, they know about it. They know it's a big deal. Like I said, they know they got to get those no cards right out. And I even had a staff member leave to go to another practice. They moved, and last I heard, she like doubled the practice because she just took all this stuff in the other chiropractor's office and just implemented it over there, and like doubled this guy's business. So he's a happy camper.
Wow. So do all of your staff members have their own business card? Society.
They do. Yep. Yes, we do. We do have business cards for everyone.
Because it seems like if you're out and, you're eating in a restaurant and, and somebody complains about something, oh, by the way, I work at Dr. Fedich's office, and here's my card, here's all the information. You need to call them. They're great. Is that kind of what you use them for? We do. We do have those, and that's what they're supposed to use for. They'd like to use something else. We call it a health pass. So we're like being busy as we are. We don't really offer them any discounts anymore. Like we don't do free exams like other offices. Like everything's paid, and usually the lowest we'll like do an exam is $40 or $50. That's like our Facebook special. But we do a printed up. We call them health passes, and it's actually a postcard from Vistaprint printed up. It's just health pass, good for a $20 initial exam, and it has like a to and from on it and an expiration date. So the staff actually like those a lot because it does have the discount on it, and the expiration date forces people to come in. They're allowed to give those out in the office, which they do a lot. So a lot of times you got to kind of push people over their edge. So someone will come in and say, my brother's been complaining about headaches. I told him to come. Maybe you should go. My chiropractor might help you. So that's a perfect opportunity for that health pass. Like, you know what, John, here's our health pass. It's a $20 discount exam. You put put his name on it right here. When you come in, the first visit's only $20. When the staff initial those and they hand them out, they get a bonus or incentive for using those. So that does like kind of force it at the office. There's a lot of those people on the fence. And that'll kind of force people over that health pass discount. It's got an expiration date, unlike their business card. So they do all have business cards, everyone that has me, but they seem like those health passes better, and we do incentivize them for using them. So that's another side strategy as well. So the health pass has the staff's name on it. So when they hand them out, or when they come back and they're used, is that when you incentivize them? Yeah,
we don't give them anything we're handing out, only if the patient comes in. And they got to come in at least 2 times, not just one visit to hand out an incentive. So, they might hand out 10 and only 1 comes back. I'm sure the numbers are better than that, but it's an incentive. And like I said, it makes them jump into that conversation. We hear that 10 times a day. Oh, my brother's got sciatica. And a lot of times you're just busy and you brush it off, but it makes kind of the staff stop. And, tell your brother, here's a health pass from us, $20, blah, blah, blah. So that tends to get a lot of those people off the fence, and it does incentivize staff to kind of jump into that conversation.
Yeah, they become your bird dog salespeople at that point.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, sometimes they even argue over the patient because they get, the bonuses. I talked to John first, they want to fight over the referral, which is not a horrible problem to have.
Yeah, do they, on the health passes, do they have their name on them? So are they customized for that particular staff member?
You know what? That's not a bad idea. Right now, they just initial them, but actually, that's a pretty good idea.
Okay.
I might do that now. They have their own. Yeah, they got to handwrite their name on it and the expiration date. I'm real strict about the expiration date, like 3-4 weeks max. So they just initial or put their initial somewhere. But actually, that's not a bad idea. Have them pre-made up with their name on it.
Well, I wasn't giving that as an idea. I was asking a question. So, yeah. All right. So what you're doing is you're creating a culture of referrals. It's a cultural thing. It's not just we hope they'll refer. It's expecting referrals. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and just constantly it's in their face. It's in the newsletter, it's in the email. There's signs in the office. We also do a referral contest too. I don't know if you want to get into that a little much. How much time we have left?
Yes. Yeah, we do.
But the other 2 big things we'll do for them is internal events. So we pretty much we do some sort of referral almost every month. It's a real simple formula. We change it up a little bit, but we basically do in-office giveaways. So one thing you got to watch. You can only I think $20, you can incentivize someone for referring a patient, or you get into like these kickback problems in healthcare. So the way we got around that, and I cleared it with a healthcare lawyer, but check in your state, is we do contests pretty much almost every month. So right now there's a beach chair set up front. Tommy Bahama beach chair is an umbrella up by the front desk. It's been sitting there for the month, and it's just a big banner over and refer a new patient in this month and be entered to win this beach set. And everyone that referred in that month, we put their name on little tickets like the fair, and we pull a name out of there at the end of the month. And then again, they're going to be on social media. We're going to post it on our Instagram and Facebook. They're going to be an email blast. I usually this morning I did a Facebook Live and picked a winner. So we use that every month. We do some cool giveaways. We gave away a John Deere tractor. I pulled a tractor right in my waiting room, like a full tractor. Gave that away. We did like a Traeger grill, a Blackstone grill, Nintendo Switch. So we try to give away something cool that people get excited about. And it seems expensive, but for a couple $100, it gets us a lot more referrals, and one more referral more than pays for it. So we pretty much do something like that almost every month, where there's some sort of referral contest in the clinic to kind of get people. And again, there's a big banner at the front desk. We just gave away a Yeti cooler. So win this Yeti cooler, first new patient in the month of June, and be entered to win a Yeti cooler. So it's just another sign, another thing pointing and talking about referrals. We pretty much do something like that pretty much every single month.
And it's always a referral. So in other words, a Traeger grill is certainly a fairly expensive gift to give away. Maybe more expensive than the Tommy Bahama. Is that what it was? The chair?
Yeah. Yeah,
so
we will
it was
mix
one
it up.
person.
Go ahead.
It was one person that won the grill?
Yep. Yeah. So we give it away to one person. And sometimes we do switch it up. It's not referrals every month, like a lot of the months. So one month it might be give us a video testimonial to be entered to win. Some months it's two things. I think last month it was video testimonial or referral. So in June or July, give us a video testimonial or referring a new patient, you're entered to win the Tommy Bahama set. So a lot of times we'll do it like that. But yeah, it's one big prize pretty much every month.
So I remember you and I talked in the past that in your staff room, you've got this big calendar. You're all about promotions, all about events, and you've got a big calendar. Do you still have that calendar? Is it all right there in front of everybody?
We do still have the giant, dry erase in the conference room. We have a conference room, and the calendar's probably 6 foot long and 4 feet tall. It's still up there. I'm getting a little more technologically advanced in my older age, and we put it all on Google Calendar so we can all see it on our phones all the time. But the giant calendar is still up in the conference room. I can send you a picture. It's still there.
So, Dr. Fedich, it seems like you're not really doing very much chiropractic. You said at the very beginning. You're actually working on your business, aren't you? You're working on the numbers. You're working to make sure it's, whereas most chiropractors, most business owners are working in their business. When did you make that switch?
Yeah, great question. I mean, that's a big problem for most doctors, and it's hard to take it all the way off. I mean, I was lucky I fell into marketing. I actually fell in love with the marketing and business end of it really early in my career. I fell in love with Dan Kennedy like you and really got into that as soon as possible. And it's just a slow transition, where more of the patient care goes to associates. But I had to, treat all the patients for 6-7 years so you could afford to bring on associate doctors. And it was just a slow transition. And before COVID, it was kind of interesting at this mastermind I was at. Pre-COVID, I was down to treating very few, if almost no patients. Had my other docs doing all the work, and then COVID, I had to dive back in and kind of rebuild the practice. And now I'm doing a little bit more patient care than I was pre-COVID, but I certainly have pretty time to work on it. You got to schedule it. You got to schedule your time. I mean, I schedule a 2-hour lunch every day to do this stuff. I have 2 afternoons off a week where I can do marketing and business stuff. So you just really got to schedule the time and block it off. And even if you're a solo practice owner, you can see patients 3.5 days a week and take a half day an afternoon and do marketing and business. I said in the beginning I had 30-something hours of patient care, and I'm seeing 30 patients a week with 30 hours open. It was kind of a silly way to start. If I did it all over again, I would have been open like 10 hours a week and been marketing for 40, So there's always that balance. But you just got to schedule the game. You block the time off. Even a solo doc, or business owner, you can block off the time. And just, slowly back away from the day-to-day if you can.
Well, people are afraid to do that. They're afraid that, I've got to do it because otherwise I won't have enough money. But your point is you're not giving anything away for free anymore. You're actually charging, which means, and I think you're probably maybe even a little higher of price point than maybe your competitors in your area. So you could afford to do some of that.
All those. Yeah, we're definitely not the least expensive. We're probably the most around for most stuff. We do less discounts. In the beginning, I did free exams and free stuff like a lot of people. But we don't give anything away for free. And we're also selective with insurance. We don't take every insurance. We participate with some of the better ones. We don't take some of the worst ones. So we're not, giving out $20 office visits and taking low pay insurance. So doing all that's really important. And it's transition. I mean, my first associate, most people think you got to hire a full-time doctor. My first thing worked out great. I was just probably wasn't even busy enough for one. It's just like I wanted more time for this. So I had a doc who was like semi-retired. He was a little bit older, didn't want to work full-time, and he worked 3 days a week for me. 2 half days, I think it were, like 2 half days and a Saturday. And it was great. That worked for years. I wasn't really busy enough or couldn't afford a full-time, and he was excellent. Like I was sick a day or something came up, he could run in and cover for me. But he was there 3 days a week. He loved it. He didn't want to work full-time. I wasn't ready for full-time. And then we were pretty friendly. It's pretty interesting. We were pretty friendly, and we started getting busy. And he was having a little trouble keeping up. And I said, one day I was like, Bob, let's go have lunch tomorrow or something. And the next day we sit down for lunch outside the office, and he hands me the office key, and he goes, Jim, you need somebody full-time now. He basically knew it was coming, and we're still great friends now. This was 15 years ago. But, so there's someone like that, or there's a mom that wants to work half days, so you don't have to jump right into it either. Buy yourself some time.
Interesting. Well, did we cover everything with referrals, or is there something else that you do?
I would say, there's a million other little things. The one other big thing that I would mention is in-office events. So there's a lot of those like we call them patient appreciation days or client appreciation days. So we do them twice a year. We're not open on Saturdays. We open on a Saturday, 3 hours. The staff know, like even when I hire somebody, like you got to work that one Saturday, 2 Saturdays a year. It's a big event. And we just have like a big party that day, and that's the one day we give free away. So it's free adjustments for existing patients, free exams for new patients, all 3 docs, everyone's on staff. And you'll get some freebie seekers, but really what we get that every time. I mean, I just had the wife has been coming here like loyal, great, every 2 weeks for years, never even seen the husband's face in my life, never came in for a visit, never nothing. He comes to Client Appreciation Day. She finally drags him in by the ear after years of begging him, and he finally comes in, and now he's a better patient than she is. He's in every week now. So we get a lot of those on-the-fence people. Yeah, I mean, years I'd never even met this guy. He was just here, nicest guy. He's a great patient. But, like, the other event finally kicked him over the edge. So you'll get some freebie seekers, but that's the one time. And we tell people in the advertisements, it's not a full exam. We're not checking your insurance. It's, a 10-minute mini exam. See if we might be able to help you. And it gets a lot of those on the fence. It's a lot of times, honestly, it's the husband, the wife's been yelling at to come in forever. But you get those kind of people to come in these internal events. And you can do other stuff with that, dinner with the doctors and all kinds of stuff. But pretty much any business that's in person can do some sort of client appreciation day. And that's another big, we'll get 25 referrals out of that have been, like I said, sometimes patients for years. They're finally, all right, they're coming on in, which is cool.
It sounds like you're a lot of fun, too. It's a fun place to come to. There's excitement happening, things are happening there.
Yeah, that's one thing. Some people say, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I can't do that goofy stuff. And like, you got to, get over yourself. People want to have fun. The number one reason people quit coming to most businesses, they're bored. Whether it's a restaurant serving the same. There's a great restaurant by me. They've changed the menu in 10 years. I never go. It's great, but I'm tired of it. So you got to have something new, exciting. Yeah, people, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I don't do that stuff. There's always something. Right now, there's a beach chair set sitting by my front desk. We're doing a pet drive now, so there's always something going on. But yeah, don't afraid to have fun. When it gets boring too. I don't want to go to work and do the same thing for 20 years. So it keeps it interesting for the doctors and staff. But yeah, don't be afraid to mix it up, have some fun. It doesn't have to be all stuffy and boring, and just because you're a doctor, lawyer, etc.
Do you have any pushback from your staff when you're doing some of these things? Like, that's not professional. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, we hired the right people, maybe in the beginning, but now, we go through a weekly staff meeting, and part of our weekly staff meeting is what events are this month, what's next month. I think they all think it's fun, exciting, and they enjoy it, and everyone kind of does their part. One staff member orders the posters every month, and yeah, they all like it, I believe. I never get pushback anymore.
Yeah. Do you have a hard time finding good employees? That's one big deal these days, can find employees.
Yeah, we've been pretty lucky all through COVID. We're well staffed. In the beginning, we had people didn't want to come in, and we're in, outside New York, so there was a lot of fear there. But I brought people back. A couple didn't want to come back. I hired replacements. We're pretty staffed now. One person is funny. She told everyone she was leaving, and not me personally. I heard through the grapevine, so we hired a replacement before she left, and ended up not getting the position. And she's already begging for her job back. So I think when you treat people well, we pay well. We have a bonus incentive. I think everyone that's ever quit ends up asking for their job back at some point. So we're good. And as far as, doctors are hard to get. I've been lucky there. The key with healthcare people or those types of employees is doing internships. So both of my docs kind of came through internships in one way or the other. So having an intern in the office is a giant pain. They're always in the way, and it's not easy work, but having that intern pipeline. My one doc got referred in by an intern, and I got him. He's been with me 6 years. My other doc was an intern years ago. During COVID, one of my docs didn't want to come back and wanted to try to start his own practice. And I mean, he actually, I interviewed like 12 people, more than I thought would come up, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to bring him in or not. And he moved. He was living an hour and a half from my office. He moved out of his apartment and moved up here before he even had the job. So he's worked out great as well. But yeah, they just keep that pipeline going, and we're actually pretty blessed right now.
Wow, it's amazing. Well, I am looking at the clock, and we are out of time. I know that you have done some coaching with other chiropractors, maybe other health practitioners. Are you still doing that, Dr. Fedich?
Not too much, actually. During COVID, I decided that I'd focus on the practice. That's what feeds my family, and so I focused on that. A lot less of the coaching and consulting now, and focusing mostly on my business.
Okay. All right. Well, if somebody is in New Jersey and would like to come in and see you, at least tell us where in New Jersey you're located.
Yeah, we're in northwest New Jersey, about 40 miles west of Manhattan. It gets a little rural. It's Hackettstown, New Jersey. The office is called Village Family Clinic. And if you are a provider or something, my website's still up where there's some resources to help you build your practice. You just go to www.drjamesfedich.com.
All right. Well, as always, it's such a pleasure to talk to you. You're amazing. You're an inspiration to anybody in any business. So thank you for being on today's show.
Thank you so much, Nina. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to Megabucks Radio with Nina Hirschberger. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or to listen to past episodes, visit megabucksradio.com.